collect peach fuzz in my pen cap every day. Every time I walk past the housekeeper, I shake the pen cap on purpose. The fuzz falls right onto her. She starts coughing non-stop from the allergies. She has to go to the hospital. This is all part of our trap. Dad was already waiting at the hospital. He secretly snapped photos of her coughing. Then he showed them to the lady of the house. He lied and said the housekeeper had severe tuberculosis. Doubt flashed across the lady's face. Dad immediately texted my sister. The lady would be home in 3 minutes. My sister understood right away. She pulled out a peach from her backpack. She sprinkled more fuzz on the housekeeper. The moment the lady walked through the door, she saw the housekeeper coughing like crazy. Our plan was still rolling. The housekeeper rushed into the bathroom. Dad squeezed ketchup on the tissue she threw away. The lady saw the tissues covered in fake blood. Our plan worked. The housekeeper got kicked out like a tuberculosis patient. Dad pretended to be helpful and recommended a new housekeeper. That person was my mom. All 4 of us made it into the mansion. We became the rich family's servants, living like parasites, but our ambition didn't stop there. The next day, the rich family went camping. We took over the entire mansion. We soaked in their bathtub. We rolled around on their giant bed. We emptied out all the food and wine from their fridge. We were drinking wine and celebrating. The doorbell suddenly rang. The fired housekeeper came back. She said she left in such a hurry she forgot something. Her eyes looked pitiful. Mom felt bad for her. She opened the door. We had no idea. This decision would push us into hell. The former housekeeper walked behind the wine cabinet. 10 minutes passed, and she still hadn't come out. Mom got suspicious. She decided to go check. Turns out there was a hidden passage back there. Mom turned countless corners. She finally saw another man. He was the former housekeeper's husband. He committed a crime years ago. He'd been hiding in this mansion's basement ever since. Mom immediately pulled out her phone to call the cops. The former housekeeper dropped to her knees begging. She said she'd pay us to keep quiet. We were listening from the stairs, completely hooked. One of us slipped and fell down the stairs. The former housekeeper froze. She didn't understand why we were here. She immediately pulled out her phone and started recording. I was in so much pain I yelled out, "Dad." The housekeeper's expression changed instantly. She understood everything. We were the ones who got her kicked out. The tables had turned completely. The former housekeeper threatened us with the recording. She and her husband acted like owners in the living room. They forced our whole family to kneel on the ground. But we weren't going down without a fight. When they weren't paying attention, Dad and I rushed them together. We took them down. We grabbed the phone and deleted the recording. Right then, the phone rang. It was the lady calling. She said she'd be home in 10 minutes. She told Mom to make noodles with bean paste. We sprang into action immediately. My sister cleaned up the scene. Dad and I dragged those 2 people into the basement. Mom rushed to the kitchen to make the noodles. Everything was arranged perfectly. The lady had just walked through the door. Sounds came from the basement. The former housekeeper had broken free from the ropes. She was crawling desperately toward the living room. At the critical moment, Mom kicked her. The crisis was handled.